Sometimes the best part of a new game system is the box. It's just the exciting packaging of it all. Maybe it's not the best part, but it's so exciting. I guess I should have been a package designer because they put someone playing it outside on this thing. I love that. On this side, they're playing handheld on a desk or a table. This shows you what's included. You've got the dock on the back, on the bottom. It's everything that's included with the bundle. So you get the system, the 2 Joy-Cons, the AC adapter, a USB cord, the dock, and then you get a Joy-Con grip, and you get 2 straps. You get an HDMI cable. So it's like everything you need in this bundle. Plus it has Mario Kart in it. And then, like, honestly, this thing, like, makes me so excited. Like, when you can actually see the UPC or, like, the serial number of the system, like, through the box. I just remember them scanning that at Kmart when I got my Nintendo 64. And just like, whoa, they're scanning something through the box. This is official Nintendo stuff. It's just so exciting. I am such a nerd. All right, let's open it up. So to open it, I just flip this down, pull this out, slide that up. Oh, and like, how fun is that? To have that at an angle in the box, the Joy-Cons at an angle, it's just, I mean, I'm not gonna lie, this isn't Apple level packaging or anything. This is a cardboard box where you can see the folds and everything. So like, yeah, it's not the best packaging in the world, but it's still exciting. So you have Joy-Con 1. You take that out of the plastic, really nice and simple. You know, I'm ready for plastic-free packaging, Nintendo, just FYI. If Sony can do it with their cameras, I feel like you can do it with a Switch too at $500. Okay, yeah, these feel bigger. They feel better. I like that. Where's a Switch one? Here we go. Here we go. All right, so not that was bad. This just, you get a little bit more grip on it, which is nice. And now I don't think you have to manage these little slide-on things to kind of give it that sense of button pressing, which is pretty cool. Like, I feel like these are usable buttons, like totally usable. Oh man, and you have, oh, I guess you probably wouldn't use that. That's to, oh, then, so this is to remove it from the thing. Okay. So you have L up here on the shoulder, and then you also have a ZL. So you still have a trigger. Okay, cool. Everything else seems pretty similar. Very nice. That's the size difference. There we go. Like that. So about maybe 3/4 of an inch longer, something like that. All right. So then system, still just black. This feels bigger. I'm not gonna lie. It is definitely a bigger system. So it feels like an iPad mini maybe in your hands, whereas the original Switch felt smaller than that. Wow, look at that. So it has a kickstand on the back. Way better than, and it's like a full width kickstand, which is way better than the single kickstand here at one spot of the regular Switch. So big improvement. Heavier fans, maybe room for speakers, heat sink in there. I don't know if you can see that. Looks like some kind of fan or heat management, thermal management. You've got where you put your game cartridges, just like in the first Switch. Volume and power. You know, you think this thing will actually... Oh, that's cool. It has USB-C on top next to the headphones, and then also USB-C on bottom. That's really cool. So you can play it while you're charging more easily than having it wrap around. I would say that that's probably a little overkill, but is a nice feature. So you have a dock USB-C, and then you have like a charging USB-C on top. But maybe you can use that for other peripherals, like connecting multiple ones together. Although you'd probably do that with Wi-Fi, so who knows. But anyway, there it is. That's nice. I want to see how big that is compared to the original. So it's definitely, that's the original. Hold on. All right. So that's the original. Yeah. So this almost feels like a little bit of a wider iPhone, like Pro Max kind of thing. Whereas this feels like it's a little bit wider. You can see it's a little bit wider, but it's actually quite a bit longer. So you have almost an extra 1.5 inches maybe of length there. So yeah, I mean, it feels substantially, it feels substantially bigger, which is cool. And I bet the display area is bigger too. Should I turn it on right now? I'm gonna do it. Let's turn this on. See what the display area is like on this. Watch it be the exact same display area size as this type of thing. No, it looks... Oh my God, it wants me to put the Joy-Cons on. All right, hold on. Let's set this down. Number one. Oh, okay, what's this magnetic click like? Honestly, this is what I'm most excited about. I was literally, like, it's like a $500 fidget toy. Oh, that feels good. And then you get it out by pressing that button in the back. Okay. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, it's a $500 fidget. That's hilarious. That is satisfying. Oh, nice. Well done. Well done, Nintendo. You know, the one thing I would change about it, listen to this. Let's see if you can hear it. Hold on, let me kind of stack this up here on the side. You hear that, how loud that click is? I think, one more time. All right, hold on, one more time. Yeah. What I would have done if I were Nintendo, going for a premium feel, is I would have put a hard rubber edge on the inside of this, just a tiny bit softer than the plastic that's here. And then what you'd get is kind of a little bit more of a rounded thud with the click to make it feel a little more solid, as opposed to this sort of high-pitched plastic on plastic sound. Like to me, that's a high-pitched plastic on plastic sound. If they had used the rubber of this, if they put on the analog stick, if they had used that kind of rubber just around this to make that connection and just dull that sound out a little bit, it's a really strong magnetic connection. It's really strong. But it needed to be just a little bit more refined in the sound it makes and sort of the feeling it makes, so it didn't feel so just like a plastic on plastic slap. Yeah, I'm gonna give that a B minus. I think that could have been made better. But yeah, here we go. That's the Switch 2 unboxing. Oh, man, that is huge too. Like when you have the Joy-Cons on it, that is not a small. I mean, that is that feels like the size of an iPad Pro in terms of the height of it, which means like if you're putting it in your backpack or something, you're kind of sliding it in. I also feel like there needs to be something where these types of Joy-Cons can like press in and like recess fully, and then you press in and it like pops out. So you could have like sort of like a recess so it can't like, you know, be held down like that in your backpack and then end up getting like, you know, sort of drift or something like that. I don't know. Small little improvements that would be really cool to see. Again, all right, there. That's the regular Switch on the size of the screen. So actually, you now have basically what looks like a display area that's almost the size. Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, what a cool update. So literally the display area of the Switch 2 is the size of the Switch 1. Like the actual LCD display area is the size of the Switch 1 with its case and everything. So there's still a little bit of a bezel around the Switch 2 screen, but the actual display area of the Switch 2 screen is the size of the Switch 1, which just feels like a nice little nod to progress. What else is in the box? There's something in here. Switch 2. Okay, so we got like a little safety hazard usage guide. We've got ultra high speed HDMI certified Nintendo HDMI cable. Oh, little colored straps. Okay, cool. So the colored straps look like they must go on around the magnetic ring on the outside, which is interesting. I'll check that out. Here, let's check that out right now. All right, so here, let's grab this. Bing. Okay. Let's see if I can do this somehow. Just one-handed is tough, but worth it. All right, so let's see here. Sorry. So that just kind of slides on. Okay. Okay. Then I wonder what these things are for. These little black parts. So yeah, I mean, it doesn't feel any better with that on, I'd say, from like a... it feels a little bit better, but I wouldn't say like you have to put this on to use it as a sideways Joy-Con. And is that magnetic or not? Yeah, I guess it is. Yeah, it's fine. I'd say it's fine. Yeah, it's good. Cool. So there are those things. USB-C cable for charging. It's nice that they give you an actual AC adapter for the price. It would have been awful if they didn't. I wonder what the wattage on this adapter is. It's 1.6 amp, 5 volt, 9 volt, 15 volt, or 20 volt. 3 amp, 15 watt, 27 watt, 45 watt, 60 watt. Huh. I don't know what that means. So this must have just staged output, so it can go up to 60 watt. I wonder what it runs at natively to charge the Switch. Like if I wanted to charge the Switch with my 30 watt adapter, 35 watt adapter, or my 60 watt adapter from Apple, would that handle well? I don't know. I'll have to check that out. So there's that. Cool. So, this is one thing I'm not sure. Is this just included with the bundle, or is this included with all Switch 2 systems? Because this is so nice, and it's such a... Oh, are you kidding me? Never mind. This isn't nice at all. What a sham. I thought that this would have a USB-C charger in it, so you could charge your Joy-Cons when not connected to the system. Because over there, I bought a second pair of Joy-Cons, and I was hoping that I could charge those in this controller. But Nintendo's gonna nickel and dime me, I guess, to go buy some kind of charging station for those Joy-Cons or something, or I'm gonna have to rotate them through on the system. Oh, that's a bummer. So this is literally just a handle, which I guess maybe I don't know. I have that thing for the Switch 1, which charges, but I think I have a handle like that too for the Switch 1 that doesn't charge. And I can't remember if that came with the system or not, but man, That's disappointment. All right, well, and then finally, I think we have the dock. Let's take a look at the dock. Beefy. Definitely beefier than the original dock for Switch 1. It's bigger. It feels thicker. The back panel is thicker. It's got some nice, like, I don't know if you can tell, but the material on the inside, see where it's like kind of glossy? That's like almost like a rubber. I think maybe for screen protection or something like that. Yeah, so it's really, I guess actually it's on both sides, and then there's also sort of a rubber pad on the inside. Okay, so yeah, it's good. I'd say the dock feels higher quality than the original Switch. It still has the 2 USB ports, and ooh, whole back panel, I guess, comes off for some reason. I will say I like the fold down part of the Switch 1 where this doesn't come off entirely. I don't know, whatever, doesn't matter. And then you have your USB-C for charging, and you have your HDMI. Oh, wow, okay. And you have, you know, for your online gamers, streamers, etc., all your Fortnite players, you have actually wired LAN, which is kind of cool on the dock. Yeah, nice. Not a bad touch. Not super important for me as a casual gamer, but I'm sure some people will be excited about that. Awesome. Well, there you go. That's the Switch 2 in being unboxed. First look. Thanks, Target. Let's dive in. Okay. What did I miss? Oh, I'm glad I didn't go forward because it looks like all those button presses. I was going to set myself to the UK. I should view this, I guess. All right, I'm going to go ahead and get to reading. See you guys later.